Okay. Well, hopefully you've watched part one of this because this is part two. Um, so if you haven't watched part one, go watch part one, or else this part won't really make much sense. But I'm going to continue talking about your self introduction, your Jiko Shokai, because I really do feel like this is a majorly important thing, and you can do a lot while you're still in your home country before you come to make those first couple months you're going to be here much easier on yourself. Okay, so just continuing in my bag real quick, I wanted to finish up some of the things I have. Um, anything you can bring. It's called regalia. Don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but here's another thing. I'm into American comic books, and this is my favorite comic book artist, and um, I have a lot of this stuff, and people are like, oh, well, what if I don't have that? Uh, I show them, Batman. Like I said, I'm really into Batman, and look at you can see the poster, and so things they can relate to. These are kids, DVDs and their cartoons and um, things that I think they'd be interested in. What else do I have in here? Oh, I have a little American flag. It's got little magnets on the back, so I just stick it up on the board. When I first came, I used to talk about the flag and why there are 50 stars. Boring. It's interesting if the person was a Japanese person with really good English, but your kids are just not going to, have enough English to understand what you're talking about. So you've got to keep it really simple. I did bring, regular pictures. This is just, regular snapshots, but they're kind of small. And I met Toby Maguire over here. Um, so uh, I usually say to them if they want to see more pictures, they can ask me after class or at lunchtime or something, and I'm happy to show them more pictures. Or sometimes I'll pass this around. But if you pass things around, you lose the attention of two or three kids, whoever it's passing to and from during that time. So be wary of that. Um, Another thing I used to do a lot when I first came was I used to show money. So I have this. Hey, that's me when I graduated high school, which for me is a long time ago now. But my mom made this actually for me right before I left, which was really nice of her. And it's got pictures of me when I was a baby and, an ugly kid, and, pictures of my family and, like, my first car, and, ooh, it's a convertible, and blah, 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 and graduating high school, all these kinds of things. And it was really nice of her. And in here, in the back, I put some, like, American money, and I show that to the kids, British money, because my parents are from England, and that kind of thing. So that's interesting to them. Um, just random side note, by the way. Bring a roll of pennies, bring a roll of dimes, maybe with you if you come from America, or just bring a roll of your own currency. It's great prizes to give away. Um, and I used to play a really simple flip the coin game, and it's like John Ken, and I can explain it to you sometime if you really want to know about it. But yeah, money is great. Uh, you can talk about anything. I've talked about how I love the Beatles in one class, so I have a calendar, Beatles calendar. Things that you can buy in your country. I put up a big display on a wall one time and just had all these picture postcards of San Diego, and these are all like upside down. And these are, postcards are obviously cheap, and you can pass these around. So here's pictures from the zoo. That stuff's easy for you to get. Um, what else? Okay, so that's about it for what's in my bag right now. Um, the other thing I wanted to just briefly talk about is you probably all have one of these. This is my iPod. Um, I put it in this big protective case so I can easily not worry about handing it to kids. Um, but the thing that I did buy was this, and I think this cost me about $20. on the Apple site. And what it does is, I don't know if you can kind of see it there, but it's got red, white, and yellow. Your basic, you know, video and audio left-right channel adapters, and this little part goes into your headphone jack. Then using the TV out on this, you can show pictures from your iPod, assuming that you have a slightly newer model, which you should, on any television. And every classroom I've ever been in Japan has a TV. I know I've given this presentation before at some JET conferences. People are, I don't have TV. And I find that hard to believe. I'm sure it's true, but the school at least has a TV that they could wheel into the class or something. So if you have a lot of digital photos, put a slideshow together, put it on your iPod. How hard is this to take around? Like, not at all. And show pictures that way. I use this for all kinds of things, and I can go into that some other time, but it's a great way to show pictures. And if you want to throw in a little bit of music or something. Of course, I use my laptop, which is in front of me right now, and do all kinds of presentations with that. So if you have iMovie or Movie Maker or something, and you want to take video footage of your town, family, pet, anything, that stuff's really engaging. It just can't be that long, or else they'll get bored. So, bottom line is, to sum this up, think about some of the things that you can bring. And show children. And the thing you gotta remember is, for most of you, unless you're teaching at high school, for most of you, the kids' English is going to be very low. So you have to speak very simply, and remember what it's like to be 10 years old. And if somebody came into your classroom when you were 10 or 12 or even 15 and gave a presentation in what is basically a foreign language that you don't understand and talked about themselves for 15, 20, 25 minutes, how you would disconnect from that and what would engage you, etc., etc. So if you do, get placed in a high school and you have older kids, you can make it more interactive. You can ask them questions about, what food do you like? Oh, this is what I like. What's your favorite singer or band? Oh, here's who I like. Or maybe give a quiz about yourself. You can do that with the older kids, but definitely with the shogakuse, with the elementary school kids, you have to keep it very simple, and they're not going to remember it a year later. So you just want to get in, hit some highlights, and hopefully, some of it'll stick, and they'll ask you questions about it, etc. I get some awesome questions. Okay, so this one, it went 8 minutes too. Sorry, guys, for making these so long, but thanks for watching. This was part 2. Watch part 1 if you haven't yet. Thank you so much, and more soon, hopefully. Okay, arigato, bye!